this week, Notion released one of its biggest updates, Notion 2.15 Better Databases. And this is one of my favorite updates and one that really changes the landscape of this program, both in new features and literally the UI has changed a lot. So I wanted to create this video, a build with me, because I thought it was the best way to explore this new update. And we're going to create a task journal or productivity tracker. This template is an alternative way to go about task management. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so via the follow along link down below, you will find a page that looks like this. You'll find formulas and original databases. So in original databases, if you toggle it down, it's called Task Journal. Let's click on it and see what sample data we have to begin with. First, if we open it up as a page, in the title of the entry, you're going to tell yourself what exactly you are working on during this working session. And each working session comes with a date property, a start time, and an end time that you worked on that particular task. Also, a status drop-down menu. Have you not started this work session yet? Is it currently in progress? Or is it completed? So those are the three properties we're going to begin with here, and we're of course going to add more to this. But let's go back to the home page and create another database that I want to connect to my task journal, and that is a projects database. Because for every entry in the task journal, I want to connect it to a project I'm working on. So this particular task may be connected to one project, or maybe I'm working for 3 hours and I end up working on several different things that connect to several different projects. So let's create a database called projects. And to create a database, we're going to go / to bring up the block menu, and we're going to search for table. Go down to database, table, view. So this looks a lot different than before. Now Notion prompts you to select a data source, and that data source can be anywhere in your workspace. Any other database you can select. So instead, I'm going to create a brand new database, and you can still choose that option via this button down below, New Database. So let's click that, and it will now prompt you to label this database, which we are going to label projects. Also, you'll notice next to the title, there's another menu. And this is giving you 3 new options. Firstly, we can just view the database as its own page, edit the database title, or hide the database title. Now, hiding the database title is something we haven't seen before. So if I click this, it makes the database a lot cleaner to look at. And I'm just going to delete some of these empty rows and create some properties for this project's database. But before I do that, I want to turn this into a page, just like we have for Task Journal. Turning into a page is located in the block menu here. Turn into page. You'll notice that Task Journal has an emoji in the page, a pencil. You can change this via the link, change icon, or inside of the page. Let's drag projects into the original database's toggle and navigate to projects. So every table comes with a tags multi-select property. I want to change this into a relation so that I can connect it into the task journal. You'll have to go to Edit Property to make changes, or go to the database menu. Go down to Properties and choose Tags. It will get you to the same menu as selecting the title and going to Edit Property. Let's rename it to Work Sessions. Type, we're going to change it to Down in Advanced Relation. Now we can select a database we want it to relate to. In this case, Task Journal. That relation is made. Now if we navigate to Task Journal, we'll see a backlink relation back to projects. I can click on the title, go to Rename, and rename this to project. So as I go and create a new task journal entry for whatever I'm working on in that moment or within that work session, I can also select either one project I'm working on or multiple. So let's say this task connects to project A. I can select inside the cell and type in project A and create a new page called project A inside of projects. And if you want to quickly copy and paste cells, just make sure the cell is highlighted blue, copy, and paste. See, now project A is an option in the drop-down menu. Let's say this one's project B, and let's just work with two different projects. So B, maybe A, and B down here. Okay, so we got some of our sample data figured out. Now we can have fun with other properties. So first, let's go back to project. Going back to the home page and projects. You'll notice that the work sessions have now been populated. I can delete this one at the top. So I don't really want to see this in this view. So what I'm going to do is click on the title of the property and hide in view. I can just select that right here. We'll just keep it like this for now. We'll come back to it later. And let's go back to task journal. Firstly, what I want to do is take a look at each journal entry. I am telling myself, for instance, task J, on March 20th between 9 p.m. and 10:20 p.m. generally, I want to work on this. So just like a journal entry, we're going to document kind of like an activity log, exactly what we did in each work session. And the first property I want to make here, and you can add properties within the pages, so let's do that here. Let's add a property that says productive, maybe question mark. Asked ourselves, is this a productive work session? And I'm going to change the property type via here, property type, to checkbox. The next question I want to ask is, what did I accomplish? And you can add more questions here. Go back to task journal, and let's leave what did I accomplish here. It looks a lot neater if we do something like this. Now this is really nice if you already know the context of the checkbox. What I want to do is actually rename this view here to today. So I'm going to click the title of this view, rename to today. Let's add a filter for date and time. Click that, and let's say date and time is today. What you'll have to do after this update, and I'm not a big fan of this, I will say, but in order to get the old filter, you'll have to go to these three dots here, add to advanced filter. If I were you, I would just immediately go to advanced filters. You have a lot more options to work with, especially with dates. So date/time, I want this filter to be is today. What I also want to do, because I have time involved here, is actually sort it by what I need to be doing first in the morning to the evening. So I'm also going to select the property name and sort ascending. Now there are two more formulas that I want to create. I'm going to end up hiding these formulas in this view, but I will show them here temporarily. So I'm adding a new property and I'm going to call it hours. This is going to be the hours worked in this work session. And let's change the type to formula, which is under advanced. When we're ready, let's click away, maybe drag this over, click inside the cell to configure the formula. So we're going to use the date between function to do this. And inside of it, I want to find the end of date time, so I'm going to use the end function, and inside, click date time, comma, the start of date time, comma, and in quotes, I want to find the minutes between them, not the hours, because I want a very exact number of hours. To do that, I'm going to say find the minutes divided by 60. I'm going to round it down using the floor function, just in case the decimal is a little out of hand. I'm going to nest what we made inside of this floor function, and then inside of floor, I'm going to say 100 times, and after divided by 100. So what I'm going to add to this is not only give me the hours, but only give me the hours when the status is completed. So to do that, we're going to turn this into an if statement. And I'm going to say if space, and then I'm going to put my cursor back next to the open parentheses. If status equals completed, then, or comma, find the number of hours. Otherwise, or comma again at the end, give me the number 0. And then close that if statement out. So when I select done, you'll see that the second task is now 0 hours because it is only in progress. And now you'll see it. Again, to hide properties, click on the title and go to Hide in View. Let's do the same thing, but let's create a view that is for all of the work sessions for tomorrow, so we can check what we need to do tomorrow in addition to planning for work sessions tomorrow. I want it to look exactly like this, so if I click the property name and go to duplicate, it should duplicate everything over. Let's change it to tomorrow. All of the filters duplicate over and the sort. Let's go to the filter and change date time is today to tomorrow. Next, let's add a board view. So let's add a view, select board, and I do want to group by. So down here you'll see group by the status. Here we can configure grouping. We can say group by any property that we have in this database, hide empty groups, and color columns. I also want to change things around, so let's just drag completed over to the right-hand side and not started to the left. Now I want to see some properties inside of these cards. So if I go to the database menu and go to properties, I can show date and time and the project they're associated with. I can also go to sort and sort by date and time. We'll see that sort has been created. Hide it. We can rename it to status. So let's just select filter here, and I want to filter the status. So now we have our filter popped up here, and I'm immediately going to go to add to advanced filter. This completed column is going to grow exponentially. Completed tasks that are within the past week will remain visible. Otherwise, they'll disappear. Status is not started, so we can see that status. Let's turn this into a group. Or status is in progress. Let's add another filter rule and add a filter group. Status is complete. And let's change this and to or. Status is complete and the date and time is on or after 1 week ago. So now that we have that done, let's create the next view that is for all upcoming work sessions. Add a view, and let's turn it into a calendar. And let's name this upcoming. Done. Let's go to properties, and let's view the project it's associated with, maybe the status. So let's add a filter for date and time. Go right to advanced. Date and time is on or after yesterday. And the status is not complete. Now what we could also do is delete this, just have that date and time filter, and actually add another filter here, choose status, and say status is not complete. And what this implies is that date and time is on or after yesterday and status is not complete. We can also sort by date, time, and we have everything ready there. The last view I want to create here is completed work sessions. So let's add a view, make it a list, and call it completed. Done. Let's go to properties and show date, time, and status. You can go back, go to filter from here, and say status is completed. Nice. Let's go back to the dashboard. And before we configure projects, let's create our dashboard table. If I want to link from my task journal, and I go into the block menu and look for linked database or linked view of database, and what I'm going to do is just select a data source, which in this case is task journal. You have a list of different views. All of the views, in fact, that we just created. So you can actually copy an existing view with all filters and sorts included to quickly add to your dashboard. What I'm going to do is select today and just configure it for this view. I don't want it to be all of my tasks for today, but rather all tasks within the next week or today. So I can plan all of my work sessions for the coming week. So let's say date, time, sending, great. Date, time, not today. Let's say date, time is within the next week or is today. Now I can rename this view, add new, say add new work session or just add new. So when I go and add a new row here, it will automatically give me today, and then I can click in that cell and change it to any day within the next week and schedule a work session. I can add another filter that says status is not complete. And I can even make this an advanced filter, turn this into a group, and say status is not started or status is in progress. I can turn this into a group as well, remove this one here, and just add it. Date and time is today. Change or to and. Change that to or as well. And the final filter will look like this. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is firstly, you'll see this grouping status is not started or in progress, which really just means status is not complete. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I were to add a new row here now, it will automatically populate status as not started, which is convenient. Another thing, if this is a view where I'm adding new work sessions, I don't really need to see what did I accomplish, or this checkbox here. Now let's move on to the projects database and add a view. So I do want to add a view here, a second one called gallery. Now for gallery configurations, it is going to be within the menu. So card preview is going to be none. Let's say card size is, let's keep it medium. What I want to do is add some properties in this table first and then configure that gallery. So let's add a property called hours worked. What I want to do here is take all of the work sessions associated with each project and calculate the total hours worked. And yes, I can do that within projects using a property called a rollup. So let's change the type down to advanced to rollup. And all a rollup needs is a relation. So see right below, you can choose your relation. In this case, the work sessions, which is the only relation here. From work sessions, I'm going to select the property hours, that formula we created, and calculate the sum. This will increase as we add more work sessions that are completed. The next one I want to create is another rollup called workspan. And this is going to tell me how many days in total I've worked on this project. Again, rollup, choose the relation work sessions, property is going to be date and time, and I'm going to calculate the date range. Awesome. I want to show how productive I've been in my work sessions for each project. So I want to get a percentage. And what I'm grabbing here is going to be in task journal, this productive question, the check mark. So let's go to completed very quickly and toggle some of these productive checkboxes. Now that we have some of those checkboxes checked, let's go back to the projects and add that rollup called productivity rate. Rollup, relation work sessions, property, the productive checkbox, calculate, percent checked. Okay, so with these three properties, I kind of want to view them inside this gallery card. I think it would look really nice. So if I do go to properties here and view those rollups, it'll look something like this. So there's no context here in these gallery cards, and I want to create that context through formulas. So we can add properties in a few different ways. We can add them through that table, but we can also add them through the database menu via this button here, new property. I'm going to add a property that's called hours worked, but let's put an asterisk at the end to indicate this is the one we want to show through the gallery card. I'm going to change the property type to formula. And I can actually edit the formula through here as well. Let's grab hours worked. What I want to do is turn that into text. Just put it inside of a format function and then say plus hours worked. We'll see that there, which gives us more context. Let's go back to properties and hide hours worked. The next property, let's take productivity rate. An asterisk at the end, and let's change the type again to formula. Edit the formula, just say format, productivity rate, that's giving us a decimal. So let's first, inside of the format, nest it inside of the floor function. And inside of here, say 100 times, and at the end, divided by 100. And then before this, 100 times. So that gives us the 33 and the 50, which we have up here, 33 and 50%. So let's say format that plus the percentage sign. And then after the percentage sign, let's say productivity rate. That's the final formula. Let's go back to properties and make sure we see that up here and hide the rollup of productivity rate. Let's do one last time with workspan. New property, workspan asterisk. Change the type to formula, edit. And what does this look like? So let's click workspan, which is actually a date property. It's giving us a literal date range. Like any other date range, we need to find the date between them, and we want to find the number of days. So we're going to use that date between function again. Date between the end of workspan rollup and the start of workspan rollup, comma, in the number of days. Close that out. We just need to format this. So nest it inside of the format function again, plus days worked. There's the formula. You can pause the video if you'd like. And let's go back and hide that rollup. That is exactly what I want to see inside of each gallery card for some context of those rollups, and they will change as we add more work sessions and complete them. So this is the only view I want to see here, just the gallery. So I'm going to go to table and delete it. Go back to my home page. And now what I can do is actually create another database view that connects directly to my projects. So I can add a new view, And when I go to select a data source, I can select projects, and the only view I have there right now is gallery, but I could also just create a new empty view. I'm going to select gallery. I can hide the database title and change the name from gallery to projects. The next thing I want to do is actually create a weekly spread. So I want to create views between Monday and Sunday. So after adding new work sessions in here, I can then view by each day of the week what I need to do in the current week. So to make this happen, I need to create another formula, and I'm going to create it inside of my task journal. And because this view, add new, is directly linked to my task journal, adding a new property here will add a new property to my original database. The name of this property is going to be weekday. So I'll return the weekday based on the date. And I'm going to change the type to formula. I can edit the formula from in here or click on the cell to configure. Only if this date lands within this week, between Monday and Sunday, I want it to show me what weekday it is in between Monday and Sunday. So if format the date of date time, comma, to a capital W, which is giving me the week number in the entire year. So if this equals formatting the date of right now in the same way, capital W, then I want it to format the date, a lot of formatting date, to date time, comma, 4 lowercase d's. Otherwise, comma, so if it's not the case that we're within the current week from Monday to Sunday, give me a blank space. Looks like I have a misspelling here. And it should work. This is the final formula. So if I were to create a new work session that is beyond a week from now, so right now we're in the 19th, a Saturday, so next Monday, the 21st, it will still show up in this view because we have a filter here that says date is within the next week or today, but the weekday won't show up, so it will not show up in our weekly spread. So let's create that weekly spread. So going back here, let's create our Monday database view. We have to select our data source, which is going to be task journal, and I'm going to create a new empty view, and it's going to be a table called Monday. And let's wrap cells. Done. Now a few things I want to do. Hide database title, and I want to create a filter that says weekday is or contains Monday. So that's giving me all work sessions on March 14th, which I'm in the 19th, would be Monday of this week. And that's all I have to do. If I want to create the rest of the week, I'm just going to select Monday, duplicate, rename it to Tuesday, and just make sure the filter says Tuesday. And remember, that formula for weekday is only going to appear when it's within this week. So that's why this filter is so easy. Duplicate for Wednesday, and so on. Change that filter. Weekday is Wednesday. I'm going to do that for the rest of the views going up to Sunday. And the last one, Sunday, same thing. Duplicate, rename to Sunday, and adjust the filter. Now you'll notice that, well, depending on your screen size, if there are too many database views, you'll have this option that says number of databases more. Click on that and get that drop-down menu. I'm going to drag projects to the bottom here so we can see Monday through Sunday. So we have our add new, our Monday through Sunday. So add new is where we're going to add all of our work sessions for today or into the week. If we want to do that through this view, we could also navigate to the original database and schedule for today or tomorrow or through the calendar. Really depends. I just wanted to show you how you can configure everything with the new update. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you at least got some inspiration from the build. And let me know down below if you guys like the update or not. Let me know if there's anything that kind of irks you. For me, personally, filtering dates is a little bit annoying. And the filtering itself, even though it's meant to be quicker, sometimes can be slower. So that's my own opinion. Let me know. They also changed the dark mode to be a bit darker. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys the rest of the week on Twitter and next time with a new video. I'll see you then.